Hello everyone and welcome back once again to Klotzen Panzer Battles with another bonus episode brought to you by my Patreon supporters. If you want to see additional bonus content as well, head down to patreon.com, see which level of support suits you. And with that said, we're here in the second mission. Now, if you were to finish the previous mission with a major victory, you immediately go to either a hypothetical situation where the Austrians refuse to get incorporated into the Reich, or you go to Poland. Your choice, basically. So we're not going to do that because we want to farm prestige. That's usually the best option, weirdly enough. Anybody who knows their Panzer General knows that you're not going to win Moscow 41. It's like, of course not. You're purposefully going to fill Moscow 41 and get your way all the way to Moscow 43, so all your units are veteran status by the time that you go to the USA. Anyway, we have here the second mission, the Aragon offensive. This entire Spanish Civil War is one big tutorial, by the way. I know that I did this huge pile of talking, and there was somebody who told me, like, oh, this guy actually starts playing after half an hour. Yeah, I know. But I'm learning the game, too. And I know that, ideally, I'll already know the game's basics by the time I start playing, but I don't have time for that anymore, unfortunately. I've no time to playtest this or anything. Anyway, after their victory at Teruel, nationalist forces seek to use Republican moment of weakness and launch offensive on Aragon, hoping to cut the Republican territory in half. Bam. Following our victory at the Battle of Teruel, Republican forces have suffered large material losses and are exhausted and worn out. Now a new offensive is starting in Aragon. Capture Belchite, and after that El Canis and Monteblanc. Then push your way to the coast and take control of Vinaros. With that done, move your forces north towards Lleida, and if able, push into Barcelona. Herr General, use your large air superiority, destroy Republican forces, and try to end the war. We need Spain as a capable ally, and not as a destroyed country. That's a lot of units, okay, but they're not available for this mission anyway. Oh, maybe they are. Never mind. In the near future. Well, certainly not 39. Maybe the Panzer 1B. We'll see. As mentioned before, during the deploy turn, you can heal and upgrade your units and level up your commanders. HQ button strip deals with managing and helping your army. Open it by clicking Manage Units button in the HQ button strip. Here you can review already existing units or buy new units. There is a Review Army button in the bottom left corner. Notice the undeployed filter above the unit list. You see some units have moved with you from the previous scenario. Even though back then I did not see any units as core units. Core units follow you in campaign. HQ units are the units provided to you by the High Command and return to it after the end of the scenario. In the review menu, each unit is marked with Core or HQ. This manage units is not. There's a review army. Wait. Manage units button. EU curfew already existing units or binding units. There's a review army button in the bottom left corner. Okay. HQ, 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 HQ. This is all on the map. Undeployed. Okay. So let's just give all of them elites. That tends to be the best anyway, although these guys. Let's also upgrade them if I can. Oh. At the very least with Opel Blitz. They would keep their initiative like that, and let's see if I can upgrade the 7.5. No. How about the Dornier? No. Let's see what the difference is between this and Engineer. Engineer has a worse attack modifier. Or worse attack. Worse defense. And a little worse initiative. Worse movement. But they must gain some special ability I could possibly buy. But let's talk about that later. Notice the undeployed filter above the unit list. You see some units have moved with you from the previous scenario. You can access the deploy menu either by clicking the deploy button at the bottom of the review purchase screen, or from the HQ button strip. You can view the entire army or filter it by unit classes. We'll cover more on the filtering and classes in the next part of the tutorial. As the war progresses, technology will evolve rapidly. First, tanks weighed 5 tons, and the late war ones can easily weigh more than 70 tons. To keep up with the technology evolution, you will occasionally need to upgrade your troops to the latest models of tanks and planes. This is done in the upgrade menu, accessible from the review army menu. Simply select the unit you want to upgrade, then press the upgrade button. On the upgrade screen, select the new model to upgrade into. Units are divided by mediums, air, sea, land, and within each medium there are different unit classes which contain different unit types. Just below the deployed undeployed filter is the medium filter. Use this to show land, air, and naval units only. Notice that once the medium is selected, unit class filters appear for that medium. In this case, to the left of the unit list you see filters for infantry, tanks, artillery, tank hunters, anti-tank cannons, recon, anti-aircraft units, and armored trains. For planes, the classes are fighters, tactical bombers, and level bombers. Transport classes are trains, transport ships, transport planes, gliders, and heavy gliders. Users can also attach trucks and half-tracks for extra mobility. Infantry is good at fighting in closed spaces. Digging in and is cheap. Tanks are best used in open spaces and can take a lot of damage. Artillery is used to soften up enemy defenses before units. Tank hunters are specialized for destroying tanks. Anti-tank cannons are artillery specialized for destroying tank. Okay. Recon units are weak, but have very high movement, and are used for scouting. AA units are used for defense against airplanes, fighters are used for fighting enemy planes, level bombers can carry large loaded bombs but are not very accurate, tactical bombers carry less bombs but are harder to hit and more precise, transfer planes and gliders are used for transporting units, gliders can transport only lighter units. Ships are divided to submarines, destroyers, light cruisers, heavy cruisers, battleships, carriers, and supply fleets. Carriers provide air support to the fleet and add extended range attack to the fleet. Submarines are cheap, plentiful, and can sink any ship, but are very slow. Destroyers have a devastating torpedo attack, good anti-submarine attack, and can detect submarines, but have very limited cannon attack. Light cruisers are a jack of all trades and can patrol, support, and hunt destroyers, raid enemy shipping, and support fleet with their anti-air AA guns. Heavy cruisers are more anti-ship and anti-air weapons than light cruisers, and also support battleship and naval battles. Battleships are sea-dominating ships and have about 8 times the heavy cruiser firepower. New units have a strength of 10. A unit can be reinforced above this value by spending additional influence. More experienced commanders are required to efficiently handle these large formations. Units ready to level up are marked with a silver star on the map and golden stars in a review menu. The unit can have a commander upgraded from the unit info screen by clicking on the icon with golden stars and arrow to the right of the unit icon. Okay. Commander quality can have a huge impact on the performance of a unit. Keep an eye on your commanders and consider replacing the incompetent ones. The more competent the commander, the more beneficial skills he will have. Commander starts with a few traits and each trait has a number of skills associated with it. On each level, you can choose to add a new trait, a new skill, or leveling up an existing skill. Every map has a limit of how many units can be simultaneously on your side. When the unit limit is reached, new units can be deployed only when units are released or destroyed. This limit is shown in the top left corner of the review menu above the select unit icon. First icon show available influence, second remaining core unit deployment slots, or deploy slots, and last shows limit for HQ units. Every unit can be released back to HQ, it will free a core or a HQ deploy slot, and for core units it will give back some of the influence spent. Every unit has a unit commander. The commander gets created with some traits, which rarely change. Each trait has a number of skills assigned to it, and once commander levels up, you can pick a skill assigned to commander's trait or level up an already existing skill. Commanders have different levels of competence. Higher competence means less flaws and more traits and skills. The chance of getting a more competent commander grows as the war goes on. Competence varies for different nations and in different parts of the war. Commander can be replaced at any point at the cost of some influence. You can access the commander menu by either using the commander button in the review army menu or by using the personnel button from the HQ button strip. You can also replace your general from the generals tab. There's a small chance the commander will be killed during each combat. Okay. The unit that lost the commander is marked with a broken hat arrow. Icon, sorry. Add new commander as soon as possible. Is that a broken hat? I have a hard time seeing how this is a hat. Okay, well. Let us dive into movement specifics. There are 3 basic light movement types: leg movement, wheel movement, and track movement. Leg movement is basic for infantry and artillery and is the cheapest and slowest. Wheel movement is by trucks and is the fastest one on the roads. Track movement is movement used by tanks and half-tracks. It is the most expensive one, but is the best for mud, snow, or hard terrain, which is encountered in the game constantly. There are different types of the terrain in the game. All terrains that are not open, grassland, are considered closed terrain. On this terrain, tanks receive 20% of their large defense because they are vulnerable to flanking close quarters attacks. Rivers are hard to cross without bridges. It takes a full turn for a unit to move onto a hex with the river. The unit receives heavy combat penalties when standing on river hex, except when defending in town. Putting an engineer infantry on the river immediately creates a temporary bridge at that location. Units standing over river hexes are considered that they are crossing the river and are really vulnerable. In that case, their initiative and defense drop by 50%. Weather can be clear, cloudy, rain and snow. During rain and snow, planes can't fly, which greatly impacts your operations. Storms reduce visibility of the units to 1 hex. Also, during rain and snow, ground condition can change, which will lead to slower movement of ground units. Dry terrain is a basic ground condition. Rain turns terrain into mud, and snow turns it into frozen terrain. This greatly impacts unit movement on the ground. During mud and snow, where there are no roads, tracked units are the only ones that can move any distance. When 2 units fight, the first thing that is checked is initiative. The unit with higher initiative shoots first. The second unit fights with strength reduced from the first attack. Terrain defense bonus varies from 0 to 9 depending on the type. If not engaged in combat, unit gets a quarter of the defense bonus each turn. I guess they're standing still. It takes 4 turns to be completely dug in. Trenches add defensive bonus on unit's defense. Every type of terrain has a maximum defense bonus that can be achieved. Large towns have the highest max defense bonus, while grasslands have the lowest. Max defense bonus can be achieved only by infantry. Tanks always have a defensive bonus of 0, because when dug in, they lose in maneuverability what they gain in defense from terrain. Enemy units should be weakened by artillery and planes to lower their defense bonus before attacking them with direct attacks. Scenario events are random events that can happen at the start of each scenario. This slightly changes the starting situation to 1 player. Each player can experience a small number of events. Campaign events can be either random or player choice. You should think a lot about the ones where there is a choice, because they can lead to different paths for the rest of the campaign. Consult the campaign tree to understand different paths your choices can take you. The next tutorial is in the scenario Fallweiss. Don't forget to turn on the tutorial once it starts. That was a long talk, like before. Let's get these guys up here. There we go. And XNL. So I guess we're gonna delve deeper into deploying this time. We get to deploy 8 core units, and I currently only have 4, so I actually get to buy some stuff. Let's first see whether it might be useful to buy engineers. So basically we're attacking from this singular area right now, and we're gonna sweep our way down. I guess we could technically try to also take Teruel, but we'd need a mountain unit for that. There's only Italian Alpini. There you are, Gebirgsjäger. They might have something of a movement that allows them to move better on mountains. Where does it show their movement though? Here. But this is still just tracked. Do they have an ability? Let's just see. I'm gonna buy a Gebirgsjäger without any trucks, because in any Panzer series what usually happens is Gebirgsjäger can move over mountains without penalty, but only if they don't have any mechanic transport. So Let's get one of these without transports. Okay, so this, I can deploy 8 and I have 5 indeed. Let's go back. Let's see if I can buy tanks. Let's buy one Panzer 1A, just because I can. That puts me to 6. They're unavailable. I currently have no recon. I'd like to buy one, which will be a 7th. This one is just straight up better. Can't buy any anti-tank. In terms of air units, I currently don't have any fighters, and I think it might be a bit dangerous to have my bomber go out. They claim I have air superiority, but to be honest, I never do anything without any fighters. Let's purchase it. That puts me to 8 core units. I can only deploy 8, so why worry about it? Now we can click on the commander, and it seems like he has the trait Zealous, which gives him the skill hedge hopping. When bombing units, which is useless. And charge when you can attack, don't wait. One additional attack per level per scenario. So currently there are no exceptional. There's one competent general. Few mediocre. So what I can do, I can go to this unit and I don't remember how to level it up, so I have to go back into the tutorial there. Are marked with the silver star in the map and golden stars in the review menu. Units can have a commander upgraded from the unit's info screen by clicking on the icon with golden stars and arrow to the right of the unit icon. Ah, there we go. So if I go to review units, I can do it here. So for example, this Dornier. Now if I click on this, I can choose one of these, I think. Or a skill. I don't want air attack. I guess brutality is nice then. He did get brutality. Commands oversized units without penalty. Sure. So then let's. They don't. Yeah, let's give them elites and then over strength. Okay, so you can always get it to 15, but then they get penalties. I don't know what those penalties are. So let's just stick to their ability. So he can technically only get up to +1 over strength without penalty. This guy is already exceptional. Right, let's look at the artillery then. You can't fight the enemy if you can't find them. 50% per level, less movement costs. Reduces cost towards 1, not 0. But it's still pretty good. It means they can go over that territory quite nicely. They already have skillful officers, so they can already go to 11 without any trouble. Unit gets 10% per level more experience. They can level up 3 times, so that's a lot. I don't know why I get out of that menu. I guess I can choose a trait too. Would be nice if I see what the trait did, because I have no clue what these do. So I really need an explanation here, because now I'm not going to choose any trait. Like I cannot see what it does, which is a problem. So yeah, like I really need to be able to see this. All right. No. No. Whatever. He also has 3 level ups. That's a lot. He only has quick thinking. Automatic initiative gain once per level. I think this is supposed to be out of it. Automatic initiative gain Once per level per scenario when attacking. I guess that's automatic. I'm not sure. Extra commander promotion on the next and every second level afterwards. Sure. Increase movement by 20 per level. Yes, please. And then we have the last one here. Also 3 level ups. This guy has a lot of skills. Once per, okay, yeah. +1 extra hex view radius on 1st and 3rd level. Sure. Fire Brigade is pretty good. You lose less of your men. 12% per level attack. Not sure what that means. Is it on the counter offense? Also don't know what team players mean. But I guess Fire Brigade can be good. Sure. Alright, so we got that covered. Huh. Now for deploying, I need to go here. Ideally I would have had more artillery, but I can't really purchase that many of those now, unfortunately. They can still attack them there, that's okay. This is also a railroad, not an actual road. Why can't I deploy it? That was really weird. Another thing that I could do is I could rent units. Still cost me 147. What if I... Nope. I didn't have anything selected. This is super confusing. If I do rent HQ, I also cannot see how whether it's cheaper or not. It doesn't look to be cheaper at all, actually. Yeah. How was this cheaper? It certainly didn't seem to be cheaper. I mean, I can use this stuff on the next turn or next scenario, but like if I cannot see how much cheaper it is to rent it, which is really something that you should be able to see, like, but it didn't seem to be cheaper. So that's weird. Like here to, if I click on this nationalist regular, it's supposed to cost 66 for purchase. But if I then do rent, that actually still cost me 66. So it's not for a portion of the influence. It's the exact same. Why would I didn't get them? It would also be nice if I could see here which one is the core, which one isn't. This is the core. But I mean, those are definitely things that can be improved upon. I think that would make it a lot better. And like I said, some things just don't work the way they, I guess, were intended to. Like in this case, buying HQ units is as expensive as buying core units, even though the game states that it's cheaper. So that's pretty weird. Anyway, I know that kind of sucks, but because of this tutorial, which I will put in brackets to show that it's tutorial only, yeah, I only get to go through the deployment phase, and I'm out of time. So for now, I just want to thank you for watching. Hope you still learned something from it. It certainly is interesting. And that. One thing to note here is that National Spain gets our supply from here, and Germany gets it from down there. So, something worth noting. And then they also get its supply from Barcelona, but that counts for the Republicans. And from down there. Alright, anyway, thanks for watching. Take care. See you next time. Bye-bye.